how to be millionaires. Give it up for the First Lady. This ain't just anybody. This is a blessing to have her here. I had to fight, beg, and steal to get her here, but we're going to be blessed this morning. Amen?
Good morning. I was hoping that she was just playing with me. And this happened because I should have, so the church was over with Tuesday, I should have just got myself in that car and just take out and leave. But no. People were talking to me, and then Linda was talking to me, and here I am. But I didn't get no text saying that, she was just playing with me. So I said, I guess she's really serious. But she said that I need to teach you guys about saving and how I did the envelope system. And first of all, I'm not no expert in all of this. It's just something that I had applied. And how we just got through saying that I am a millionaire. Okay, so my biggest thing, it just kept bothering me when I said, well, Lord, if we keep saying that I am a millionaire, but are we prepared for when we become a millionaire? Are we going to sit there and squander all our money and then we'll be broke? It's a known fact. Some people, when they get money, they just lose it. And they probably, within a year, you know how people win $1 million or win the sweepstakes, they probably win like $50 million. And there's a known fact that some of them went broke because people do not know how to handle money. It's a known fact that football player, okay, not just football player, but professional athlete, they rolling high while they playing football. And I think I read that sometime a good football season probably lasts about 3 to 4 years of playing professional football, or maybe a little bit more if they can do it. And some of them not doing well because they did not apply their money right. Okay, I see two of my people here that I need. Shaquela, is my little Missy ready for her? Okay, good. Okay. So when Pastor Barlowe had asked me to work with Trey John, they're not here yet either. Because everybody must know Pastor Barlowe's not here today. But I decided, I said, well, maybe if I do a show and tell. And the show and tell, I need some people not in place, so I might have to ask some people to substitute. They don't even know that they're going to do it, but these people I know will be a perfect example. But some professional people, even when you find like movie stars, singers, they get all this money and they blow it. And, like they said, Michael Jackson spent more money than he had coming in, and he was in debt. Well, my goal, this has been on my heart, that my goal is that I don't want to see the saints of God be in that situation. If I can turn back the time, maybe 25 years, I really would work with my children on it. And I believe that everybody going to go to a period of struggling. Everybody struggle. We struggle, Even when you marry young, you're going to go to a period of struggling. But during your struggle, you should learn something from your struggle to be able to help others. Yeah, I know what it's like that, we have to be on a strict budget. Back in the day, it may be comical now, Pastor Barlowe used to give me about $30 for grocery. That was just me and him. And then when Raphael came, I said, okay, you got to give me a little bit more. So it was $50. So I'm assuming this was a week. And with that $50, when I had a baby, first thing I did was make sure all the baby things is met, the diapers, the food, because I wasn't the type of person to go up and say, hey, can you give me some money, loan me some money so I can buy some diapers? No, that one don't come out my mouth. I make sure that my baby was taken care of. And we didn't eat a lot, but, he always, Pastor Barlowe, if you've been around him long enough, it's always the same old food, what he wanted to eat. He's a creature of the same habit. He don't change his habit. If you go out to eat with him, he going to buy the same old dinner every single time. At the point where when he walk in a restaurant, they know who he is, and they're going to give him exactly what he wants all the time. So it wasn't so hard, but when as the kids come along, I said, okay, I got to start buying groceries the way I like, and also for my children, because I want them to be able to learn and eat a variety of things. So what we did, we worked together. And then a point where I used to give him all my paycheck, and he used to give me, I hate to say this, but for lunch. That was some money on the counter for lunch. And I'm going, I'm working, but I got lunch money. And I didn't like that, you know. And you know me, I love my dessert. So I was trying to put a save it, whatever for lunch on the lunch meal at work. I kind of was like, I gotta count my pennies and make sure. But back then, you can buy a nice meal at Mutual for $1.75. I mean a dinner. Sometimes, but remember, this is 25 years ago, 30 years, maybe 30. I'm giving out my age though, but I came to Omaha as a first little young lady, just only 22 years old. But back in the day, you know, you can buy lunch. I remember lunch was $1.25. You get a full course meal. You might get mashed potato, vegetable, and a meat, $1.25. Then it started going up to $1.75. And I always want that dessert, so I always try to put aside at least 10 cents from the $1.25. Okay, it's okay. I know it's comical, but so by Friday I had enough money saved up I can buy me that pie. But as the years got better, you know, got to the point where we said, okay, you know, I want to have some money to feel too, because I didn't want to feel like I'm just working and giving the check, but I want to know what it's like to have money to feel to pay. So the agreement was that I gave him half of my paycheck, and the other half of the paycheck I usually spend for the kids, whatever they need, get their hair cut, and grocery. So I really didn't have a big budget to work with, but what I had with it, I made it work. Now, when we talk about 10 reasons for to have money, anybody remember the first reason to have money? I need a Linda, keep my time. Anybody remember the first reason why we need to have money? 10 reasons to have money. Money answer all things. Now, money does answer all things. For instance, like if you saving for that car, you can't get that car in Jesus. You know, you can't go rob a bank to go get that car. So you got to have money to have that car. And then anybody remember the second one? Money is a defense. Okay, when we said money is a defense, okay, it's telling us that with money is a defense, it also is keep us out from being in poverty. Money will. So when you say defense, it's like when you play football, Marcus, what is the purpose of a defense team? Okay, so we have money as a defense, well, to stop us from being poor, stop our generation from being poor, our children. And everybody in here, y'all are obligated to teach your children about the process of money. Money is a defense. This generation of going from paycheck to paycheck, that's got to stop with us. We have to teach our children how to survive. And like I said before, I wish I'd done better with my children. I always knew that you got to save. I always had that in me, you have to save. And like I said, my husband, sometimes our money was so tight, he said we can't afford not to. On your piece of paper, it said saving is not an optional. Saving is not an optional. I have the privilege of working with Trey John, and then I have my little protege I'm working with. And I'm going to introduce you to my little protege in a few minutes. And you have to have a budget. There's no way out of it. A budget will get you out of your debt. A budget will keep you on track, and a budget will keep you from going off going off. Now, with a budget, you'll be writing down what you bring in, and then you need to write down about what is going out, and you got to keep it real. Sometimes when you do a budget, you're not going to get it right the first time or the second time or the third time. Every month, you're going to readjust your budget because some things keep coming up. Now, as working with Trey John, they started out, and I made a save. I don't care, you won't save. That's totally because I made my mind said this little couple is not going to struggle. Well, we made a budget for the first month, then the second month. By the third month, something came up. Then I had to make a budget again. And then by the fourth month, then something else came up. So I'm pulling from all of this money from the saving because I had told her she was going to save $100 a paycheck. So let's give her $200 because I'm trying to get her to. Everybody should at least start out, if you can, $1,000 emergency fund. The emergency fund is $1,000. If you make less than $20,000, okay, I give you $500. The purpose of emergency fund is in case emergency come up, you go into this fund to get it, and you're not going into your paycheck. As me, for example, I have money that's for bills, and I also have been blessed to have a job where that if I do well every month, I get a bonus. Out of my bonus, like I had said before, that is how I was able to go on my trips. And Pastor Barlowe didn't have to pay for it, which he's still shocked, you know. Because, for instance, if my bonus was $400 as I paid my tithes and offering off of it, and I might bring in Uncle Sam get his piece. I always throw in Uncle Sam piece. I don't sit there and say $400, 400 minus the tithe. I take out 15% for Uncle Sam. So by the time that probably triggered down, I'll probably bring home I probably will have maybe about three something. I may take 50, and the rest I save. And I kept doing it, until I came up with the money to go. Because I wanted to go on a trip, because I wasn't going to let him go by himself without me. Because I always wanted to say I wanted to see the world. So this is the only way I'm going to do it is I have to save to see the world. Now, so when things keep coming up, you can reach into that little fund to get it. Now, 3 reasons you're going to save is you save for emergency fund, you save for purchases, and you save to build wealth. Okay. And one of the things, and you always got to have a strategic plan with your money and with your life, a strategic life plan. And one of the strategic life plans, if you got children, what are you planning them for to go to college? And then also you got to think about your retirement years, and also like fun money, like you want to go on vacation. Right now, I am really seriously, I got to work on my retirement year because it seems like everybody around me is retired, and I'm going, something wrong with this picture because I'm still working. But that's one thing I failed in. I'm going to be honest, I failed in that. I did start out with a 401k, but when we bought our house, I took my 401k out to buy the house. So I got penalized for that, and then I got penalized that I couldn't get back in until a year. Then I started back up again. And then when I ended up quitting my job, I think I might have maybe about 4,000 or 5,000, but then I got penalized because I took the money out. The stupid thing I did, I didn't roll it over, which I should have rolled it over. Mr. Rosen told me to go buy a stock from Berkshire, and I just couldn't see myself paying $2,000 for one stock. I just couldn't see it for myself doing it. But that's foolish. But you know what I did? Bought a fur coat with that money. I got the coat, so when you see the coat, it's that little short one, that's my 401k. And when I think about it now, I'm going, that was stupid. I could have had, if I bought that stock, which was about 15 years ago, could you imagine how much money I would have had? But no, I couldn't just see myself paying $2,000 for one piece of paper. I just couldn't see it. So I'm telling you from now, look at the future in the long run. Don't look at it short. Like I said, I can't do it. When I say, okay, when people say, I can't afford to save, you can afford to save. You don't want to mess yourself up. And the best way I can tell you how you can save is, what is your monthly bill for grocery? Anybody? What? Anybody spend over $400 a month for grocery? Yeah. 500. Well, you be surprised. People gonna make sure they gonna eat, and you gotta make sure your kids. Now, one thing I can say, my kids never went out without any food, because that's the first thing I tell you. That 4 walls you take care of. You take care of your house first. You gotta have a roof over your head. That's one of the walls you have to take control of. You must pay your bill for your house. If you owe rent or whatever, you must pay that. Because everybody's not going to take everybody in. And it's kind of a little cold right now to be out there. That's the first thing you do. Because that's the first thing I pawn into my Trey John and Kenny, you make sure that house payment get paid. Because I don't think their mother wants them coming back home. I said that's the first thing you pay. And then the second thing you have to cover is transportation. If you got a job, you got to get back and forth with transportation. And then you got to have food. And then you got to have, then you got to do then you got to have your light and everything else in the house. But the most important thing, make sure you keep a roof over your head. Make sure you try your best to keep transportation. Because if you rob Peter to pay Paul, everybody did it. I ain't even trying to visit John either. But we did that too. We paid to rob Peter, pay Paul. We paid this bill and take this out and pay the other bill. We did all of that route too. But I found out when you miss on a house payment, sometimes that house payment might be the biggest payment you have. And then when you miss on a house payment, then you got to double up. And then when you can't double up, then you know that's another month went by, and then another month went by. Always get help before you get down to the 8th inning. Because when you get that far, it's kind of hard to catch up unless you have savings somewhere. Okay, so Proverbs 16:9, Maylee. Okay, and another version it would be say, a man's heart plans his ways, but the Lord directs his step. So we got to plan our way, plan our future, and plan our budget. Okay. And then also to say, in all their ways, acknowledge him and okay, so if you don't have, you can ask God for wisdom and knowledge. I had a situation where once my kids left the house, I thought, okay, I should have a lot of money. But I realized that I was still spending the same money, paying the same old bill, and same old bill. And the reason why I wasn't paying the bill out. I was just paying it and go back and spend it. How many of y'all know what it's like to pay on a bill and go right back in that same store and spend the same money you paid on that bill out the door? I do that all the time. And I had to tell myself, you're going to walk in that store, pay the bill, and walk out. Then somebody said, well, why don't you just mail it? I said, nah, that cost me a stamp. Okay, I can be tight sometime, you know. And then plus, my reason why is if I pay it on the day before that is due, I still had that cushion in my checking account. Versus then I write the check and I got to give it 5 to 7 days for it to go through the mail and get processed. But sometimes you get penalized now. This happened to me last month. I don't like giving out money that I don't have to give out to people. Bill people. Like, I made the mistake with my dealer's bill. I couldn't remember what did I owe them. I think it was it $135 or $139? So when I got to the store, I couldn't remember, but I wrote the check out for $135. So when I got home, I said, oh man, that should have been $139. I said, okay, I just wait. You know, maybe they won't charge me. Yes, they did. I got charged $25 for $4. $4. And I was hot as a firecracker. Because I don't look at my bills until when they come due, then I open the envelope. And I say, oh, $25? And plus, they tack $25 more to my payment. So I called them on the phone, and I was a little angry. And then I said, oh, why did you charge me $25? I paid you. So the lady go, oh, I don't know why. And then she started looking, and she said, oh, you should have paid $139 instead of $135. So I said, so that's going to cost me $25? And so she said, well, you know what? We'll just take it off. They will. You know, you be nice. Then I said, you know, I'm just a little upset. So they took it out. Then I said, okay. Then I said, but do I still got to pay $165? They charged me $165 next month. And she said, yeah. So I said, okay. When I got on that phone, I got to thinking. I said, oh, they still got me. So, know what Deb gonna do? She gonna walk in that store and walk right back out from now on, because I'm done. Anything that I want is gonna have to be cash. So I will have to save up my money. It will be cash. I'm gonna need 6 chairs, 6 chairs, maybe 8. So sometimes it takes that to be a wake up call. And then one time I said, well, Lord, I got to get rid of this bill. I got to get rid of this bill. Well, every time I go in the store, there's nothing that I want. And I can honestly say that this month, I paid out one of my credit cards. Every time I go in that store, there's nothing I can find that I want. And I'm a bargain shopper. And I'm saying, okay, Lord, okay, release me from that. But another way to get out of debt is as you do your emergency fund, another thing you need to do is do a snowball debt. That is go from your smallest bill to your largest bill. And that is what I'm doing right now. Once I done paid out this bill, now it's time for me to go to plan B. But what I'm going to do is take the money that I paid for plan A, add that on to bill number B. So bill B, for instance, if plan A bill A was $100 a month, I done paid that out, and bill B is $80 a month, and I have bill C, let's say C is $75 a month. Once I got through with bill A, I take the $100 from bill A that I used to have that I don't pay no more. I add that $100 to bill B, which is $80, will become $180. That's it's called a snowball effect. So I keep paying them $180. Now remember, I was paying a bill B 80, but now I am paying them $180. So I'm trying to get rid of them real fast. Once I do that, next thing you know, you'll be through with B. So then you're done with A and B. So you take A plus B, and then you go to C. So C is $75, then you take 180 plus $75 what? You take the 255. So really plan C, all you supposed to be paying is $75, but now you're paying 255. You can get plan C done in less than 5 months. So that's how you do. Now once you get all your once you get most all your bills done, then you are able to, the third step, then you're able to start out paying. So the goal is to try to pay as much debt you can you get out. Sometimes it might take you 2 years, sometimes it might take you 3 years. And then once you get your debts paid out, then you start going into plan 3. And that is you're going to start putting away 3 to 6 months of monthly expense. If your monthly expense is $3,000 a month, well, you should have enough money to do that on your plan when you get to, because you haven't paid out most all your bills. The only thing you should have left pay is really a house bill. They said the house should be your last bill you should pay. Now you're getting ready to start accumulating wealth, because you don't have a lot of bills no more. You got most all your bills gone. So now you can build wealth. Now another thing that what I did was, I need Kenny and Trajan up here. Lena up here, since you involunteered me. And Coco. Huh? Yeah, take your notes. How much minutes I got? How many more minutes I got? Half hour, okay. Well, Coco, you can bring Marcus. You gonna stay back there? Okay, Coco, you bring your son. He represent Marcus. Now, once you have that plan in position where you have 3 to 6 months bill that is saved, what would it be like to know that you got $7,000 sitting in your bank? $7,000. Every time you got a paycheck, you do what you want to do with the paycheck, because you're not paying dealers, you're not paying Sears, you're not paying. I really believe you should at least you can have a credit card, but you got to be disciplined. So you have to learn to teach yourself discipline. And I'm the type of person, I would not write a check that I know I don't have in the bank. That's not me. I struggle before I write that check, because I'm gonna tell you what happened to me one time. Back when the days when we were trying to make house payment and church payment, my husband always put the church first. So he asked me to write him a check for $300. I wrote him a check for $300. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna put the money in the bank, pay this bill." Well, somehow he didn't get it to the bank in time, but the money, the check, what it went to go pay somebody. Well, when they went to do the bank to cash it, there was no money in the check in the bank. So the individual was very upset. So they filed a claim. And you know who it went against? Me, because the check was written in my name. I wrote the check. So I was tender. You can make me cry easy. So I'm going downtown and going before these people, and then I said, and the first thing they said, anything over $300 is a federal offense. And he said, you know they can press charge and you can go to jail for that. So then I said, I'm going like, I just assumed he put that money in the checking, put the money in the checking account, which he forgot to do. So the man was pretty nice, so he told me that, I tell you what, long as he'll let me make a payment plan. It was only $300. $300 back then was a lot of money to me. And so he said, I tell you what, if you give me $100 every 2 weeks, we'll write it out. He said, but don't ever let this ever happen again, because he said you can go to jail for writing a check that is not in there, and somebody can sue you over it. So that's my lesson, is to write. If I don't have it, I won't write it. Okay, then once you invest, then you need to invest 50% of your household maybe into an IRA or Roth. Everybody that's working should have a retirement plan. You know, if you can't afford one, can't afford it. I remember the first one came out, I said, I can't afford it. So even though if you do 3%, 1%, that's really not too much, but you can do it. And because when you get my age, you're ready to retire, and you look like, where's my money? I don't have no money to retire on. So there are some people still working when they're 70 years old. And Lord, no, I don't want to be 70 years old and still working. So I have to really come up with a really fast plan to put in action right now. And then once you do that, then you start saving for your children. Okay, the one way like you want your kids to go to college, I say, Mag, when your children start, maybe by the time they go to preschool, by that time, if you follow all those steps, you should have some money set aside. So let's say is, who got a calculator out? Let's say, okay, let's say that you have a child, and you decide that every payday you're gonna set aside $180. Okay, $180 every payday. Most everybody get paid twice a week, $360. Okay, $360 times 12 is what? Okay, per year. Okay, so if you started when they're 5 years old, all the way till they get to college age, that's what, like 12, 13 more years? So take that time, 13 years. Now, can your children go to school on $56,000 without you getting a loan? I mean, and then if you take that $56,000 kind of bit like invest it, and it kind of triple, no student debt. Now, if your kid get a scholarship, that's more money back for you, because they got a scholarship. Or you could probably say, okay, since you've been a good kid, got a scholarship, we'll buy your car with the money that we had saved. But that is another way that they said they had planned that if you want your children to go to school, every month, treat it like it's a bill. Okay, pretend like you got a car payment for 13 years. Treat it just like it's a bill that you have. That's how I look. Everything I do, I said treat it like a bill. So if you have more than one kid, figure out how much you want to save, and then when you get that, you have a way for them to go to school. And most importantly, you teach your children that study, and let them look for the money to get scholarship. Because, you want your children to be smart, excel in everything they do. Why can't our kids all have scholarship to go to school? Academic scholarship. Academic scholarship. Okay. This is how the envelope system works. Now, I had told Trey, John, and Kenny, we done made several different budgets. Several. So finally, I told them they work for me. I said, their money is my money. You just work. And you don't mess up my money. I said, because when you mess up with Sister Barlowe money, you don't want to see the rap of Sister Barlowe. My husband keep telling me, you need to be mean. You need to be mean. But I said, they work for me. They don't want to get out and go to work, but they work for me. But they going to be awesome because they listen. They listen. Y'all didn't mess with my money. All right. All right. What did I tell you the first thing about money is not a what? Don't let that get on now. I see what Linda means. Let me take my shoe out. Money is saving. Saving is not an option. Y'all have to save. Okay, anytime y'all do something different, y'all have to seize it in your budget. Okay, I got up this morning, I said, okay, show and tell. Okay, these are 3 envelopes. This is the envelope system, how it works. They have 3 envelopes. And I believe, Coco, I forgot what my total was. Okay. After they have paid, they have bill money that is bill money. They go to the bank and take out $340 every week. And this is for grocery, gas, and miscellaneous. Now, that miscellaneous could be fund money, movie, or miscellaneous will be because they want to buy themselves something. Now, this is after they had put the money away from saving. So this is just an example of how to do the envelope system. Yeah, that's money in there. Did I give you 4 envelopes? Did everybody get 4? Okay. Okay. That envelope is grocery, gas, and food. No, grocery, gas, and miscellaneous. So, what are you going to spend your miscellaneous on? Miscellaneous, they have $40 to spend for miscellaneous every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, they got $40, and they got to live off of that $40. $60 is gas. That's all you can spend for gas for 2 weeks. Hey, they on a budget. You know, they're on a budget. I mean, if you got a bigger car and you go more places, I know the Sluter got to spend more than $60 a week. You know, that Benz that my husband had, you know how much that cost me to drive 1 week? And all I'm doing is going to work in the church. Back and forth, that was $100, and I was hooping and hollering. And then they have groceries, $240. I know, $240. They're on a budget. So you got to work with me. I know y'all may spend a little bit more, but they're on a budget. Okay. Now, the thing about it is, when you go buy grocery, you only can buy grocery for $240, no less, for 2 weeks. Got that? Gas, $60. That's all you have in your budget, $60, no less. And miscellaneous. Well, they want to go to a movie, they want to go out to a restaurant, they want to go eat. Well, it can't be no more than $40. And miscellaneous could be also if they want to buy lunch. Well, I don't buy lunch that much at work. I only buy lunch when I don't fix nothing to buy lunch. But for grocery. Okay, now gas. Now, if you find out that your gas is getting a little bit low, what you gonna do? What? You're only working with what they have. Will you write that up here? Hey, Betty, 240 grocery, gas 60, miscellaneous 40. Okay, now let's say Coco. She's very thrifty about when she spends for groceries. Cause I saw in the grocery store she had a calculator and everything. So I'm sure she know how to spend. Watch what she spend. Linda is single, but she has a child that can eat. Okay, Linda. Well, every now and then she go over. These are the young newlywed couple. Okay. They don't know. They still learning each other, and they still got to learn how they eat, too. When they going to go over budget. Okay, now, for gas, now, when you don't want to try to borrow in between these envelopes, the 3 envelopes. But that can come a situation you might have to. When you might have to borrow between the envelopes, then that means you got to come up with an emergency committee between the couple. We have an emergency committee. Whenever your budget look different, y'all have an emergency committee. You and your husband have to work together. You the emergency. You're going to have to tell your son you got to eat less. but just joking. But whenever you find out that, let's say you find out you're spending more money on grocery. You're spending more money on grocery. Now remember, I seen Coco. She has a calculator. I saw down the aisle. She was just doing this. Me, I have a bad habit going to the grocery store. What time is it? Oh, I have a bad habit going to the grocery store when you're hungry. You know that's a no-no. I go for 2 things. Next thing you know, I done spend $30. I go, oh, my goodness. Okay. Now, Linda's like that. Now, okay. You only, when you go to the grocery store, Kenny Trajan, all you can take with you is $240. You don't mess with your gas money, whatever. Linda, all you got is $240. You go in the grocery store hungry, which means she going to spend more. Coco, she got her calculator. She knows that. She only going to spend $240. Okay. Now, okay, Kenny and them, that grocery bill, they shopping together. That grocery bill came up to a total of maybe $250. So they what? $10 over. What you gonna do, Kenny? Wait a minute. That should come out of her miscellaneous. that's not food. That ain't food. Okay. That's not food. To me, that's your personal miscellaneous. You gotta eat. You can't eat no grease. It's all how you look at it. If you want to put it in your budget, and $50 of your groceries going to your hair products. But what's work for you? Work for you. Okay. Now they are $10 over. Somewhere down the line, they're going to have to take $10 off their card. Now, Linda went to the store and got in the store and started shopping and realized, oh, I didn't have my envelope with me. What do you think Linda's supposed to do? But she do have a check on for the bill. What do you think she's supposed to do? Linda leave it in the store and go back home and get your money. No. That's your fault. But because by her returning back home to get the money, because that money was set aside for grocery. The money she has in her checking account was set aside to pay bill. Now, Coco is very good with her grocery money. Coco only, out of $240, Coco only spent $230. No, let's say she only spent $220 on grocery. Now, Coco know how to shop. She look at the grocery ad. She know how to use a coupon when she see a coupon, and she know what product to get. and she know how to plan her meals around her grocery. Coco got it going on. So Coco has $20 extra. So when the next 2 weeks come, Coco can take that $20 and apply it to her grocery if she want to, or she can apply it to her miscellaneous if she want to. You know, because Coco going to make sure her hair look good and everything, you know. So Coco can go get her hair product. You know, or either Coco might want a surprise and her Mark and them go out. Now, when it comes to gas, y'all only have $60 gas. Okay. All of y'all got down to $5 and y'all had 5 more days before payday. What will y'all do in 5 more days for payday?
Miscellaneous, I will put that towards gas. I mean, if I had some left over from the grocery bill, then I'm putting that towards the gas envelope.
I'm good with $60 for gas. Yeah. Gas,
What
I'm
about
good.
you? You only had $5 left.
I put it towards gas for my car.
No, you only have $5. Oh, for your car. Your car is more efficient.
No, mine's. I drive longer.
Okay. You're going to hope that the $5 get you there for the payday. Now, this is what I normally do. I try to make a route to everywhere I got to go, and it has to be within that route. I do. You know, I don't like when my husband said, I need to do this, and I'm going like, man, I got to run here, right here. I'm all over the place. And so I try to go. If it's on my way, I try to do everything that's along my way. Okay, all right? So that's what the envelope system is. You try to stay within your envelope. If you go over, you either put some money, put some grocery back. When it comes to gas, try to stick to what on your route. Now, if you find out you're spending more for gas, then the next thing you need, all 3 of them, 5 of them need to get together and have a budget meeting about, okay, we need to spend more money on this and we need to readjust our budget. Sometimes it takes you like 6 months to really get your budget down pat because there's always something coming up. So that's how the envelope system works. This way, it teach them discipline about their money. You don't. If you didn't take the money out for grocery, I like working with grocery and gas. No, gas and grocery and miscellaneous. I like working with them because the rest of that money is totally for my bills. I pay my bill because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm robbing Paul to pay Peter, and then you might have to have John too. I don't like to be in that situation. So I try. Every month I always say, Lord, I praise you and I thank you for letting me be able to pay my bills each month. I really do. And you ask God to give you a plan, he'll give you a plan. Because later on I got a plan for somebody. Or somebody's. Okay. All right. So thank you for the demonstration. But do you understand? Okay. Now, oh yes, one important thing. Since they done so well, they all get $100. They all get $100. They got $100 raise, a gift, $100 bonus on their job. Now, what are you gonna do with your $100? No. I gotta ask them. What do you? I think hard. What you gonna? I had them to write on a piece of paper. What would you buy if you had $100 that you really want? Think about it. What you gonna do with your money? $100. I mean, if you want to spend it, you can spend it. It's up to you. Okay, Trey, John, and Kenny, what did y'all say y'all gonna do with y'all 100? What you wanted for $100? Okay. So, so would you spend your $100 on the funding of a bicycle? Okay. Now I ask you what you want to do. A bike. Okay. What are you gonna do? But you said you want. Okay, toward her trip. And what are you gonna do with yours? Okay, great. Now, they all said they will save, and then he's going to put his money toward a bike, which he probably saved. I don't know if he can get a bike for $100. Okay, so now remember, okay, I don't know. Now remember the $100 they got The $100, I think they all did well about what they're going to do with their $100. They saving, and he buying a bike. The bike will cut down on gas. You know, he going to start riding. Now, Raphael used to ride a bike everywhere he go. When Raphael didn't have a car broke down, I had to hand it to him. He was riding a bike. The first thing I hollered about, well, you better not be on that interstate in Dallas. But that's a good idea. So I think they all did well. Give them a hand. All right, y'all may take your seat. Okay, I told you I have a little protege, and that is Shy. And a mama. Y'all can come up here. Okay. My goal was, can I teach a child how to save? Grown people, they going to listen to a certain point, but will they do it? I don't know. Last time I asked y'all to save some money, how many of y'all save some money? Still got it? Still got it. Great. So I said, I'm moving on to a child. So I said, I want to teach a child. I call her my special little project. That I said that if I teach her how to save, by the time she gets 18 and become adult, she will always have that principle in her. And I asked her mom, is it okay, that I do my experiment with Shy? And the mom said, fine. What it is that when Shy, I'm investing in Shy. And it's not called chores. I mean, she do chores, but it's called, she get paid on a commission. And I pay her commission every Sunday is payday for Shy as a commission. And her commission is that she must do chores around the house. I gave her mother a list of chores, and she can add on to it. Keep her grades up in school and be obedient. Anytime she don't do some of that thing, her mother's supposed to take money away from her, and she don't get the full money. And I told her mother, well, whatever you take away from her, I don't care. You can keep it for yourself. I don't care, but whatever you want to do. So I figured the first month, I wasn't going to say that much. Shy is only, 6 years old. So she's 6 years old. So I don't know if she's really fully understanding it, but as she get older, she will understand. So I pay her every Sunday is payday for her. It's not allowance, it's commission. Because when you tell your child it's allowance, they expect allowance. Commission means that, you got to work for it. So at this age, she's learning to have a work ethic. She's learning to be disciplined when it comes to money, and she's learning the principle of saving and building wealth. This child, if she listens, should never struggle. Never. Whenever she get her first paycheck, she knows she's going to pay God first, and then she's going to pay herself second. Paying yourself second is paying yourself and consider putting money aside. Okay. Since she's only 6 years old, she don't need a lot of money. I can't let her break my bank either. So Shy get paid $5 every week. Okay, the guidelines for that $5 is she has 3 envelopes. One is called saving, one is called giving, and one is called spending. I give her $4 and the rest in change. So at the same time, she's learning how to count money. So I see her mom in the church telling her, add this up, put this here, and put the period here, and bend in it. I'm like, all right, okay, she's listening. Okay. Now, I believe I started this in August. Okay. Shy should have some money. And I tell her, anything that Shy wants, Shy has to spend it out of her spending money. She has to save $2. Every payday is $2 for her, and she gets to spend $2, and then she pay her 10% tithe. Her 10% tithe off of $5 is what, everybody? Okay, that's not a lot of money to y'all, but that's a lot for her. And then she paid her offering. From what I gather, I think she paid 50 cents for offering. She give her whole offering. Now, giving is, let's say Shy really for offering, she's supposed to pay 25 cents. But what if she decides she want to give, She want to give Jackson 25 cents. She could give Jackson 25 cents because that's her money to give to do whatever she want to do. And they're right, Cupcake? Okay. So Shasha said, well, I'm going to pay my tithes 50 cents, pay my offering 25 cents. Then I said, well, you know what? I'm giving Jackson 25 cents. That's called giving. So when you give, we teach them how to give and learn to give to others, they'll learn to give, it'll come back. But Shasha takes her money and put 50 and 50 into offering. Now, last Sunday, I saw they were selling candy bars for $1. She wanted one. And her mama did the right thing. Her mother didn't reach in her purse. Her mother reached in her little account and took that $1 out. So Shasha bought her own candy bar. Now I told her for saving, she learned to save money. Now let's say Shasha saw this doll that she wanted. And let's say the doll cost $15. I told Cupcake, you're not allowed to buy the doll. Let her learn to save the money for the doll. That way she knows how to have the money. Because she don't have $15. I'm not giving her $15. She only get $2 to spend. So she will have to learn to save the money. So, Cupcake, just kind of briefly, less than a few minutes, just tell them how she's doing.
Shy is doing very well. I am doing very poorly. Shy is doing well because I save all Shy's money. And I spend all my money on Shy. So she does very well with her giving and her tithing and her offering, and she's very fascinated with the whole money deal. But I have not done a great job teaching her how to save because Shy believes, because of what I have said, that all of her money is her money. And that when she wants something big, she can ask Mommy, and Mommy gets it done. So I will try to be better.
For instance, she want a bicycle. That's Mommy's job to buy a bicycle. But I'm talking about little small things that a little girl probably want. So let's get that straight. Any big item, Mommy's supposed to buy it. But if she wants something like, you can set a limit for anything like, say, $20. Anything that you want for $20, she can learn how to buy it and save it. So that is my little protege. How much does she have? Oh, I got to pay her, too. How much she have in her giving envelope? No, all together. No, okay, spending. Oh, so this is what Mommy want or what Shy want? Okay, Shasha's not spending her money. She's saving her money. So she's saving all her money. So Shasha, here's your little commission for this week. Now, I told Cupcake she got to be fair. She got to be firm but fair. If she don't do something, she has to take something away from her. And she has to learn that. So whenever she do something wrong, you have to take it away because the first time she learned that she's not going to get the whole $5. She probably only get maybe $4. Then she will do what she's supposed to do. But that's my little project for that. Okay, right now, how many more minutes? 5 minutes. Okay. I want Brian Bell to come on down. Did I see Brian? Yes, okay. So everybody understand how the envelope system works? I used to play with those just 3 things I used to play with between those because all the rest I allow to take my money for bills. But Brian here he has something, an announcement he wants to make.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to let everybody know, if you guys need a part-time job or a full-time job, if you guys are out of work, we're opening up a new Walmart in North Council Bluffs. So that's opening up in January, but we're already trying to fill positions. So if anybody needs a job or if you know anybody that needs a job, it's a great opportunity. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for like overtime and all that good stuff. So especially during the holidays, you won't have to deal with actually the holiday rush, but the setup of the store is pretty intense, but it's a great opportunity. And if anybody needs a job, like I said, let me know. I don't have a flyer. I'll actually have to run and grab some. I'll post it up on the bulletin board today. But, like I said, if you guys are interested, if you know anybody who needs a job, it's a great opportunity. We're hiring. We need almost 300 people, and I think we've hired less than 30. So we still have a long ways to go. So, like I said, it's a great opportunity, and let me know. It's close to North Omaha. It's right off of I-29. It's on the backside of Epley. So, as you go downtown, 480 or whatever, you just take 29 north around, and it's right off of 16th Street in Council Bluffs. So, fairly close to the area. So, we're excited about that, and it's a really good opportunity. So, let me know if you guys are interested. I'll give you guys the details. Like I said, I'm going to grab some flyers and post those up. But if you guys have any other questions, let me know, and I'll get you all the information that you need. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. When Brian told me that, I said, oh, that'd probably be good to tie into what I'm doing, Everybody has these ideas and plans, Sometimes when you want to get yourself out of debt, sometimes you do have to take on another extra part-time job to make ends meet. And I admire all the women and Dr. Hope and how he goes and take that job so, to take care of his wife and family. I give you got to do what you got to do, Believe it or not, Pastor Barlowe used to do janitorial service. And he said, so what? Money is green. That's all he kept looking at. Money was green. Money was green. And he did it. So to get out your situation, sometimes you might have to taking a part-time job. And when you take that part-time job, don't sit there and squander the money away. Be wise with your money. I had one girl said every money, all her part-time job money went to paying out, get her bills knocked down. Or you can say you take half and have your money saved. Hey, you can go on a trip. But the thing about it is, if anybody apply for this job, you represent, because he knows y'all. And people first thing going to say, that sorry person that Brian hired. No, you go to be the best you can be. You do everything you do at 100%er. You're 100%er. When they see you working harder, that's better come promotion come. But anytime somebody puts something on your name, you be the best you can be. Best you can be. You don't do 50%, you do 110% to be the best you can be. Because he's in upper management. And it's going to look bad on him for the fact that, he hired you and you keep calling him and said, I can't go to work. I'm tired. If you're really serious about it, this is a good opportunity. And nothing wrong with working hard. I mean, that's nothing wrong with working hard, So you have to, how you think Americans started? People worked hard to get where they at. And remember, you set an example for the future. You set an example for your children. All right. So that's all I have to say. I turn this back over to Pastor Linda.
Come on, y'all, give Sister Barlowe a hand. Y'all gonna be a little bit richer. And don't be borrowing it from Shy Shy. I'm jealous. I'm like, can you do me like that? I need help. Because what Cupcake said, yeah, Shy Shy doing good,